What's going on, everybody? This is Mike with Film Facet, and we need to talk about Blade, I guess. Not in the positive light. Very much negative. Has there been a bigger disaster than this project in modern Hollywood? I don't think so, because it's pretty bad. How they haven't been able to go to production on this thing for 5 straight years boggles the mind. So I found some articles. You know how I do this thing, kind of like pants writing, by the seat of your pants. That's what they call that. You just sit down and you start typing. Yeah, I just sit down and I start recording. So I haven't really gone into a lot of these articles. So, this is how I do it. Okay. Ollie's rep calls shooting delays craziest thing in their career. His representation, by the name of Shelby Weezer is his agent. And she has said it's the craziest thing she's ever seen in her career. The Hollywood Reporter spoke to Weisner for a large piece about representing massive stars like Ollie. She says that she can't believe that they haven't begun filming Blade yet. And she says, and I quote, "That deal was in 2019 and they still haven't shot it," which is pretty much the craziest thing in my professional experience. They not only haven't shot it, they haven't wrote it either. They have now had 3 screenwriters on this thing. I say, well, they've had 2, and they're looking for a 3rd now. The producers say that they finally know what the story's going to be. But for 5 years, they couldn't figure it out, I guess. And that's on top of Ollie threatening to walk. Because one of the storylines they were wanting to go with was making Blade the 4th important character in the movie. The 4th important. The other 3 above him would have been female characters, not associated with Blade in any way, in anything we've ever seen before. The woke getting wokey. So, they unwoked enough to Ollie's satisfaction. And he hasn't walked. But he might. Because they're now down the 2nd director. This is the latest news has been the 2nd director has left the project. Yan Damage has left the project, and they do not have a director right now. They do not have a screenwriter right now. They don't have a script. They have Ali. That's it. And this project has been active for 5 years. It's amazing. Especially in modern times. Maybe I could understand if this happened like in the 60s, the 50s. But now? What's the holdup? Why can't you get your shit together, man? So there was another article from Variety that has a Blade timeline of the last 5 years of this disaster, and I wanted to kind of take a look at that. So I haven't even looked at this one yet. Okay, here we go. It starts here. July 20th, 2019. they announced Blade. Okay? The summer of 2019. Okay, before COVID. February 5th, 2021. Stacey Oser Kuffour tapped to write the screenplay. Sorry, I can't. Sometimes just names I just can't get. So she was hired in 2021. What were they doing? I suppose, of course, you have to say COVID and the pandemic. That's probably why from 2019 to 2021 they did nothing. But honestly, they could have hired the screenwriter a lot sooner, because screenwriting is a work from home job, more or less. So I don't know why it took them 2 years to do that, or a year and a half to hire the writer. COVID or no COVID, I don't think that makes much of a difference. You certainly could have collaborated on Zoom or Teams or something. Whoever makes the decisions for these movies. Come on. Okay, in July of 2021, the first director signs on. Bassem Tariq. Okay? November 5th, 2021, Ollie gives his first performance as Blade in Marvel's Eternals. But it's just his voice. I haven't seen Eternals, so I don't know what they're talking about. Delroy Lindo joins the cast at the end of 2021. In February of 22, Aaron Pierce joins the cast. In July of 22, Blade receives an official release date, which is November 3rd of 2023. Yeah, we missed that one. Then in September of that year, Tariq quits as director. Let's see, and then in October, they pushed the release back. In November of 22, Damage joins the production as the director. Then February of last year, Feige says Blade will start production in 10 weeks or so. Without a script. April of last year, Mia Goth joins the cast, which, by the way, she's still attached. So that hasn't changed. Then they get a new screenwriter in April. And then the pre-production got shut down because of the strikes last year. Then in June of last year, the release was pushed back to next year. Probably not going to make that one either. Don't get your hopes up, guys. Then November of last year, Michael Green joins us, the new screenwriter. November, they push Blade back again. December, Ollie says he's sincerely encouraged by the progress of the film. March of this year, Aaron Pierce no longer going to appear in Blade. He has dropped out. Then earlier, a couple weeks ago, Damage exits as the second director. And there you have it. So, I don't know what to really think about it, man. Because in today's world, you should know what you're doing. Why is it that, and it seems to be it's Disney. I don't know if any other studios are having a hard time trying to figure out how to make movies or how to make good movies. But Disney definitely seems to struggle in making quality now. And I don't know why exactly. Now, the other studios right now, they're not necessarily, hitting a home run either all the time. But they seem to be more consistent with quality. Other than Disney. And you can loop 20th Century Fox into that now because that's Disney too. The same, decision makers run both of them. And I just don't think they're cut out for the job. And they have a CEO that doesn't really know what he's doing either. I often wonder, why is it that Michael Eisner hit home run after home run in the 90s for Disney and the Bobs can't do anything right? But apparently the Bobs are the best that they can do, which speaks volumes about where that industry is right now. The talent pool in Hollywood is very shallow. And it's never been more shallow than it has been in the past decade. And really the past couple of years it's been glaring. And it's really sad to see, because movies, for me, movies is one of the greatest joys in my life. And I feel like it's being taken away from me by whoever is in charge in Hollywood now. It seems to me they don't want to entertain you. They want to send a message to you instead. That's more important. An agenda, a message, propaganda, that's more important to who's ever in charge of Hollywood now. In the 80s, the people that were in charge of Hollywood, the main thing they wanted to do was to entertain you. Very innocent. Not so innocent anymore. Because there's always an ulterior motive to almost everything they do now. And they try to inflict as much reality into today's content more than ever. Even when that movie is science fiction or fantasy, they still got to stick something in there that's going on in today's horrible society. Because I'm sorry, I just don't know anybody who thinks this is a good society to be living in. And I don't think it's a very good one. I've lived in better. Anyway, off my soapbox. The bottom line is, who knows if Blade is ever going to get made? And if it does, is it going to be a pile of shit? since Disney doesn't know what they're doing at any level in their company. It's amazing. Thank God for their amusement parks. Otherwise, they'd be in a lot of trouble financially. So, they always have that to fall back on. But if they didn't have it, they'd probably be out of business. Or another studio is coming in to merger with them to save them. But Disney ain't what it used to be, guys. It's not that good right now. But we can always hope for better. And on that note, adios, muchachos.